Welcome back to the OKC Foodcast, your guide to the food in Oklahoma. And I'm here with my good friend, Andrea, Anj, which I guess you have to earn the right to call you Anj. Is that what it is?
Or I think it's become so public now. Most people don't know my actual name is Andrea.
All right, so Anj.
Perfect.
And she does a plethora of things, which we'll get into. But first, a quick shout out to our sponsor, Vault 405, for sponsoring the pod and providing us this space and this podcast studio to record in. If you're looking for a co-working space in downtown Edmond, look no further than Vault 405. All right, Anj, how are you doing?
Good. How are you, Nabil?
Great. I'm excited to have you. I feel like we talked about this like a year ago.
I think so. Yeah, whenever we would run into each other at like a food pop-up or something, it's come up. So I'm excited to finally be here.
Yeah, I was like, when we restart, we'll have to have you on, and now we're here. So this is fun.
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah. All right, so before we get into everything that you do, what was the favorite thing you ate this week?
Ooh, shameless plug, which maybe we'll circle back when we get into the rest of the things I'm up to right now. Dumpling night at Et al. This week. So that was on Wednesday. We were about to transition into our new first brick and mortar restaurant, Natsukashi. So it was the last time I was going to be able to make it to one of our OG dumpling nights. And so our mushroom and bamboo vegan dumplings are one of my favorite things in the world. So.
And is that going to be featured in the brick and mortar?
It will.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm excited to try that.
Carrying over, but at least having it in, like, at Foolish Things Coffee, where we've been doing our pop-ups, or they have for the past 4 years. Had to go up and support one last time.
Of course. Yeah. Man, you've been doing those pop-ups for 4 years?
Yeah, they founded in 2021.
Wow.
And then I joined the team in around like March of this year, 2025. So now this is December. So I've been on the team now for about 9 months. And now Natsukashi is getting ready to open hopefully end of January. So we're only about like maybe 5 weeks out at this point.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Man, so I bet there's a lot to do with that.
Yes. Yeah. So like that was like my favorite bite of the week, kind of nostalgic. And then I know you mentioned Carletti's when we were talking before we started recording. And I think the quartet, the bite of each dessert at Carletti's.
That was cool.
I'm like, that is all I've ever wanted.
Yeah.
Like just one bite of everything, especially the dessert menu. So I love that they did that.
That's what Serena said too. She's like, this is amazing. Why don't more places do this?
Yes, I hope they do now. They should take some inspiration because that was perfect.
Yeah, I think our question to our server was, how big is this bite? Like, can we share this bite?
Yes, I know. I had that question before ordering too.
And you could share the bite.
Yes.
It was a pretty decent bite.
It was.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, my favorites got like, where I think I ended up finishing all of it. I would say like 3 good bites per their quote-unquote bite, which was exactly like the little sweet treat you needed after your meal.
And I love how it was presented in the spoons, and it was really cool. It was really cool. But yeah, I would say that was probably my highlight of the week as well. I really liked their arancini. It was like a saffron rice.
Yum.
And I think their tomato sauce was just, I mean, it was simple, but it was good.
Ooh, I'm excited to go and try more of the dinner menu. We went for their brunch opening, which was cool. And I was really interested to see how they did brunch. They had like scratch biscuits topped with powdered sugar and 3 different types of jam.
Okay.
That was really yummy.
Nice. And then I guess since there was an overlap, I'll mention another one, Woodward Pizza. Actually had that last night. We were like, what are we eating today? I was like, I'm kind of feeling some pizza. And so got some Woodward. And I mean, it's just a really good Detroit style pizza.
Nice.
Here actually in Edmond and the Ice House Project. So
nice. I haven't been there yet.
Oh, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good pizza.
Adding that to my list now.
Yeah. And they've got, I always mention this, they've got this saganaki, which is like a flambé cheese that they serve with their bread.
Ooh.
Really good.
Yeah.
But you got to eat in for that. You can't flambe at home.
Yeah. Thankfully, they're not liable for that.
They're like, here, we'll give you the brandy and the
a torch.
That'd be wild.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, I have to go now.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good spot, and the owners are from Detroit.
Oh,
So
even better.
yeah, so like they know the pizza, and he's like he grew up working in the different shops, and he was actually on the podcast before, Kyle,
Okay.
and he was telling me about how there's different styles of Detroit pizza, which I thought Detroit style pizza was like a style,
Uh-huh.
but there's variations in that, which makes sense because what doesn't have little variations, but yeah, that was always interesting to know.
That's
Yeah,
cool to have here in Edmond.
yeah,
Like, yeah, that's something you wouldn't think about, or you feel like you need to go to Detroit to find the nuances of the styles
right,
there. So
yeah,
that's really cool.
yeah. So he was super knowledgeable about pizza. He's talking about like saturation rates and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, way over my head.
I love that. That's how you know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is like their life's mission to make the best, whatever his version of Detroit style pizza is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was good. Okay, so wow, I kind of want pizza again now, but
Hey, you said it's across the street. That could be dinner after this.
done. Okay, so we already mentioned a little bit about your venture in Tulsa. What else are you involved in the city? I think there's like a list of places.
Well, first, I guess and foremost is my coffee shop, HQ Coffee, in the Asian district. Food-wise, Natsukashi and the Et al. Team in Tulsa. And then, I mean, a lot of that came through kind of where we have become friends is I was the former executive director of the Asian district. And so would do food tours in the Asian district, like very familiar with our restaurants, boba shops, and that kind of like led to me opening a coffee shop that is like Asian influenced and Asian owned in the area. And then I also write and do social media strategy. So Luxury Magazine is the one I work with a lot and contribute to every edition. Trying to do more kind of like freelance and like ghostwriting on the side as much as possible. And I write like our HQ Substack. Then I have a personal fashion Substack that I write because that was my career before, or most of my life before then Asian district, and now food and bev was in the fashion industry. So I've done like a lot of fashion writing and just culture in general, and I think that's kind of what started all of this. And it's like me as a person is like really interested in consumer behavior and global trends and being able to forecast like why people buy what they buy or how to push things forward in the industry in general. But since I'm based and was born and raised in Oklahoma City, there just wasn't a lot of people doing that here. I was fortunate to have my career based out of Oklahoma City my entire life, which I thought would take me to a bigger city, which was honestly the intention. I always wanted to move, and the biggest reason I ended up staying was COVID. I was like 1 foot out the door, about to move to either like Portland, LA, New York, had some opportunities lined up, and then in the middle of me exploring those, everything shut down. So I just like took a 6-month break, kind of thought about what I really wanted through those opportunities, and have been so invested in the community here. I think that was the moment that made me realize like I'm supposed to be in Oklahoma City for some reason. And if it's not to like just leave and do exactly what I want in places where it already exists, how can I bring opportunities like that in my own community here? Because I mean, a lot of our Asian district board always had this conversation of not having local representation of people like who looked like us doing things like what we're interested in, which are a lot of us have non-traditional careers. Like we are not doctors or lawyers. I mean, some of them are, of course, but I mean, I worked in fashion. Like Steve Lee, who's the executive director now, he is a dancer.
Yeah, in Race.
Yeah, Race Dance Collective.
I was on the board for that for a while.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
He was a storm chaser with the Thunder, like back in the day.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So, like, a lot of us like wanted more nonprofit focus with our careers, or at least volunteer work. And so I think now, like, they say I don't really know if I'm like peaked in my success yet. I think I'm still figuring it out every day, but it's like it takes like
the start.
15 years to like become an overnight success. So I'm like, I've been kind of like doing this 15 years, and now it finally feels like, okay, I have my own things going. I'm like still involved in the community. I'm able to like bridge both that I didn't think was possible. Like I felt like I had to go to a big city to have the career I want, or I had to stay in my local community to stay close to friends and family. But now I feel like I've been able to kind of like wedge my own way into being able to do all of it and still like be in an affordable city, help it grow and develop, but then travel as much as possible to get inspiration from other coffee shops, restaurants, retail, like events like that had inspired the Asian Night Market Festival and kind of the direction we went with that. So I feel now just like very connected to the community, and that now makes it harder to think about leaving because I can't replicate that per se. It would take a lot more effort to try to integrate and become so attached to another community in the way that I've become to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I mean, one good thing came out of COVID.
One good thing did come out of COVID, and I didn't think I could say that in COVID. So I guess we've come around.
No, that's awesome. And yeah, there's no way you could replicate that. I mean, like you said, it'd be hard, but like, you know, you kind of grew up with the community in Oklahoma City, because Oklahoma City has grown up too, I feel like. I think I had the same thought process when I was first here. I was just like, can't wait to get out, because it was early 2000s. Oklahoma City was very different. Mm-hmm. And I actually moved here from a big city. And so coming to Oklahoma, I was like, what is happening? Like when it's dinner time, because we moved from Pakistan. And so, you know, dinner times are super late, and like your whole life is very shifted. And so when it was dinner time, all the places would be closed. Like it was wild. Like places would close around 8, and you're like, well, this is kind of around the time we start thinking about dinner, right? And
yeah.
But man, things have changed so drastically since I moved back from college, and I was kind of the same way. I'm like, I don't want to leave. You know, it's
funny how
it's such a
like
cool
some
spot
of us
now.
kind of went through that of like, oh, okay, well, do we stay? Do we go? I feel like most of my friends have gone. Some of them have returned back now. But for those of us who have like stayed in Oklahoma City, I say that. So it's funny that you said it as well. Like I've grown up with Oklahoma City and watched it from, there was nothing basically.
Yeah.
Like Bricktown was the main hub of downtown. So to see downtown really explode and develop, getting the Oklahoma City Thunder, huge changes.
That was probably the biggest catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yes, that Maps 4 investment, all of these things that like really, like the community here. Like now that I've been integrated in a lot of like public development projects of people who really care and want to see Oklahoma City grow, and that has made it really special when you're able to improve the quality of life for people here now, like us who've grown up here. But now when people visit Oklahoma City, I think they're surprised.
Yeah, oh yeah. We see that when people are on the tours. They're like, I didn't even think this would exist, or I've never had this style of food, and it's weird that I'm having it in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
you know? Like I'm like, well, that's a good compliment. That's a good compliment, because our food scene is awesome.
Yeah, so much better than other like tertiary tier cities around the U.S. For sure.
Yeah, we can compete with some of the, I mean, not the big cities, but just because they've got so much more variety than we do.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of like taste and flavor, we're up there with anyone.
I think that's been a big reason that's kept me here is the food. Like it. Even like Tulsa, I think, has come a long way in the past couple of years. But even me being back and forth from Tulsa to like visit friends or just to hang out on the weekend the past 10 years, it's like, okay, there you find a couple of spots, and then it's like, okay, that's kind of it. Like at least for things that compared to Oklahoma City's options.
Yeah.
And would have Tulsa friends come here just to be able to eat or explore food in a new way without having to go all the way to Dallas or Chicago or Denver or some of these other cities that are relatively close to Oklahoma City, or in the Midwest at least.
Yeah. And anything a few hours is kind of close.
Right. That's close. Yeah. A 3-hour drive to Dallas.
Yeah. That's right here.
Right. I mean, that's become me for Tulsa. It's like, okay, I'll drive an hour and a half for dinner and then drive back.
You know, that Tulsa drive isn't as bad as I thought it'd be, because I've been going a little bit, and it kind of flies by.
You get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I say like, yeah, that's my like decompression drive. Just an hour and a half, head empty.
Oh, that's yeah.
I mean, sometimes I'll take calls or like listen to podcasts, but most of the time it's just like listening to music, thinking about what the next week looks like. And so it's really good, just like personal space. So I love the drive. I'm like, yes, give me an hour and a half of silence. I will take it.
Where I don't have to do anything.
Yes, right. I'm driving. Phone is in the passenger seat.
Yeah. All right. So you mentioned HQ Coffee as for a while it was the newest addition in the Asian district. I don't know if anything else has opened up now. I think I saw something open up recently.
Oh, I guess in terms of restaurants, Ling Long
Yeah.
just opened. So
That
I'm
looks-
actually going tonight
Oh,
to
nice.
try it.
Okay. I'm curious to see what you think. It looked really good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So okay, HQ Coffee. One, I love the space that it's in. It's a really cool space with the patio and all of that. Like very unique. But to complement that uniqueness of space, you've got a uniqueness of menu, which I hadn't tried. I think most of the things I had there ever before.
Really?
So yeah, like the ube, hadn't had it. I had to when we ordered it. One, I was like, oh, this looks really cool because it's purple.
Yeah.
But then I had to look up what ube was. I was like, I don't know what this is. But
Wow.
it was. I'm like, and the flavor of it was amazing. And then to come to find out that it was sweet potato, purple sweet potato, I'm like, man. In fact, there was someone that I spoke with this week who said that on one of the Asian district tours, he had the ube because that's what we feature. Just because it's so cool and unique. He's like, I had that, and then right after that, they went to Super Cowan to try and buy it.
Wow. That's awesome.
And then that black sesame, hojucha. Was it hojicha?
Hojicha.
Hojicha. That's super unique as well. Really cool. So, let's talk through a little bit of the menu. What inspired you to come up with these, and how do you even come up with these? Because like, you make all that stuff in house. This is not something that you buy. You know, you source your teas, you source your matcha, you source all that stuff, and you make all these simples and all that stuff in house. So, tell me more.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that's awesome feedback about like the food tours. I know you guys come by like relatively frequently, which is awesome, and thank you for that. But that's
Thank you for
cool.
having such a good product.
Thank you. That's so cool. Like even things like, I guess for me growing up, to answer that question, it's like black sesame lattes I would see at like Korean cafes in New York or in, on other menus. Like black sesame is such a traditional flavor, especially in like Chinese desserts and Korean desserts. Ube is Filipino and has become more popular, I think, more recently. But I mean, obviously in Filipino culture and being so involved with the Asian district is something you see utilized a lot in ice cream or desserts because it is so sweet. I love to see savory iterations, but most of the time I see it used like confectionery. And so being able to go to other cities and just see that being so normal, like an ube matcha or strawberry matcha, hojicha and matcha are things like I really love, and being able to offer that in Oklahoma City for the first time is really special because I think it just came from me getting a little bit like not frustrated, but like, dang, I wish I had this here. Like, I wish I could wake up in the morning and go to a cafe and have a black sesame latte or an ube matcha or things that I literally would have to travel for otherwise. And so it's not that it's like this new concept in general or like this new product, but it's new to Oklahoma City. And when the opportunity came to open like our own concept, it was like I kind of already knew exactly what I wanted with it, because I'm like, yes, we need, I think, another third space in the district that's not a boba shop or restaurant, and again, like for the Asian community first, and then everyone else can come and try these things, and it really just be a space that people can spend their time in it. I think about it, I mean, with placemaking and urban development, like what makes a place sticky? So you go to Asian District and eat at a restaurant, you go home. Or you go get boba, you go home. You
Yeah.
come to Super Cowan and go home. And even then, like right after we opened, it did exactly what I wanted it to, where people are going to dim sum at Golden Phoenix on a Sunday morning, coming and getting a matcha at HQ, hanging out for a little bit, going to Super Cowan, doing their grocery shopping, and then heading home after. So they've spent almost their entire day in the Asian District, and they can walk from place to place.
Yeah.
And that cannot be found in too many other places in Oklahoma City, especially when it's grocery, restaurant, like very family oriented. Besides like arts and culture districts that we have around the city too. So it was an idea I thought would be like way further down the line. I always said, oh, like my retirement job would be like opening like a Korean style cafe and bakery. You could have that like novel idea. And then it became a very real idea very quickly. And so basically I had a conversation that basically started the concept development in January of 2024. And we opened at the Asian Night Market Festival the first weekend of October in 2024. And even then, I had built it out to be in a different space in the Asian District for most of the time. So I pretty much pivoted into the space that we're in, which was previously Boombox. And in like less than 2 months, like changed our model to start there and basically flip that space in 2 weeks from Asian Night Market Festival to our official grand opening.
That's wild.
Yeah. So in hindsight, I'm like, that was kind of insane. Like at the time, it's like, oh, things are moving slow. But I think I'm just very much like a get her done type of person. And so even this first year has felt like so long. But I'm really grateful for the support the community has shown this year, where we're a year one coffee shop that feels like we're almost operating at like a year 3 level already. I think because the product is so different, like there wasn't an ube matcha in Oklahoma City really like before we opened, and just that dedication to quality. Like our matcha partner is Rocky's Matcha. He is based out of LA, and so we're one of the only cafes in the world that has him on bar.
That's cool.
And retail. He has retail placement in some more specialty shops around like the country, and he think like in Paris and Japan. But having that partnership has been incredible. And same thing with Mario Coffee, who is our coffee partner. They're a Korean roaster based out of LA, and we're the only shop besides now they have a location in New York they just opened, basically that has them on bar.
That's cool
as well.
I didn't realize we were getting such a unique product.
Yeah,
that's really, because I knew you sourced them, and obviously you did probably a lot of research and trying to figure out what the best partner would be. But yeah, I didn't realize it was so what's the word I'm looking for? Not unique, but like very limited.
I'd say like curated or like focused are the two words like we kind of come back to, because I think even now our menu has grown a lot just because we've brought back a lot of lattes from like last season that people loved, like the gochujang de leche and our red miso mocha. So our signature menu is bigger than I set out for it to be, because they've become so popular. And it's like, okay, we have this idea for an espresso beverage or like a matcha special, but it can really be translated in both ways and taste very different, but be done well. So some will only offer as a matcha or an espresso special, depending on just like what that flavor profile is. But a lot of them translate to all three, which just gives our signature menu like so much more depth. And it's like, okay, you can choose your flavor and then choose essentially your caffeine source, like either espresso, matcha, or hojicha, depending. Like I'd say an example of that on our winter menu right now is our peppermint pandan. Like that one is so good as a latte, but it also is great as a matcha, or my personal favorite, that one as a hojicha.
Okay.
And the black sesame hojicha that you mentioned earlier, same thing. Like I say that drink specifically is why I opened HQ.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love hojicha lattes, and it's a great like low caffeine alternate to like matcha or coffee, because I think I'm starting to now get even more focused in what I call, like, I don't know, these middle drinks, like in between that it's not coffee, it's not tea, but like a third other. So we have a sujanghwa on our menu, which I think now I'm going to keep permanently. It was a part of our fall menu, but it's a traditional like Korean cinnamon punch.
Okay.
Like typically you drink it for like dessert after meals. It's basically just like cinnamon, ginger, and water, like boiled like low and slow, and can be served hot or iced.
Nice.
We just steam it, not even with milk, just to push like hot aerated water into it. That almost gives it like a chai latte taste when you're drinking it, which is really interesting. Or more traditionally, like you would freeze it and then break up the ice and eat it almost like a slushy like snow cone dessert, like after meals. So it over our pebble ice that we have like gives almost that same flavor and texture combo. But since it's just a like cinnamon ginger punch, it doesn't have any caffeine. Like it's not coffee or matcha. So being able to offer more things like that that are still traditional, because I think that's a part. I mean, I've been talking a lot about like trendy drinks or things that have like our strawberry matcha like has gone viral on TikTok, and that has been super helpful for business. And so I say we're a strawberry matcha shop now. I make that joke. And it's like, oh, I want to introduce like a just simple like hojicha latte, and then like all of our specialty bevs have like really popped off. But I really want to showcase like traditional Asian flavors. Or one newsletter I want to write soon is like kind of debunking ceremonial grade matcha and what that means, because there's so many different grades of matcha. I mean, it's all technically ceremonial because it was originated in like tea ceremony use cases in Japan, like historically. So it's very culturally significant. So I think that now has become so mainstream. That's not like a problem, I would say, with the Asian community, but it's really just fascinating to me when I've grown up eating like green tea ice cream or like matcha, just like through Asian desserts similar to black sesame. And now all of a sudden in 2025, it's trendy, and people who were like very against it or did not know what I was eating or drinking like 10 years ago are now like obsessed with it. Yeah. So it's just interesting how cultural food trends, I think, cycle in and out of people's purview. Or like same thing with Korean food. Like I'm sure you've experienced something similar too, like not being like American or seeing how your food is represented like in another country. But growing up, no one really ate Korean food like mainstream or like knew what it was. And not until the past couple of years where people are familiar or more familiar with gochujang, miso.
Right. For the food, I also wonder how much it was like, I want to say us as communities propelling forward the quote unquote real food as opposed to the food we thought people would like. Mm-hmm. Right? Because I feel like now there's been a little more of, let me put forward like the true flavor as opposed to maybe something that's a little more heavy in the butter, or it's got a little sweetness or not as much spice in there, just so, because you didn't know what people would, what people's palate would accept, right? But I feel like now that people have tried a lot of things, people are getting more, at least I see this in the Pakistani Indian food, is the flavors are getting a little more pronounced, which now you're getting like a truer representation of what they should be.
Exactly.
So I wonder how much it was that as opposed to people not wanting it.
I think I personally like to err on the side of being as true to it as possible, because I think it does people a disservice.
I agree.
When you're introducing something like ube that they've never had before. And I mean, you see this when you go to like other dessert shops, or you see like an ube ice cream. Obviously, if there's like a lot of maybe milk and sugar and it's been like Americanized, it has just like migrated from what an ube ice cream may taste like in the Philippines. Mm-hmm. But I think, it just does see people a disservice to not know what it tastes like or where it comes from, because that's a pillar for us of like education, basically.
And it's not as good if it's not represented in like your true form or how you remember it or what you're trying to like portray, right? Like you're watering it down. It's not as good.
Exactly, because then it's like people think they know what it is and get familiar with that flavor, and then if they do travel overseas, it's like so different, and then I think it's confusing when you don't know what is done better. I mean, obviously in the country that is its purest form,
Yeah.
and so I think getting closest to that here is the whole point.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to introduce people
Right.
to.
Yeah, 100%. I also wonder if it's like people getting more familiar with unknown things just through social media and YouTube and all that stuff. Like, I wonder if they like see it and be like, oh, I want to try that. Where before they might go in and try to stick to the options that were safe or what they were familiar with. So I think familiarity. Well, I'm saying that wrong, but whatever.
Close enough.
I think that's kind of expanding for people too. So I wonder if they're getting a little more adventurous too. I don't know.
For
Could be
sure.
multiple reasons why things are changing, but it's changing for the better. So that's good.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it so many times. I feel like, at least growing up in Oklahoma, the past, 20 years, you've seen this growth of having actual ramen shops when most people have only had ramen from like a packet from Walmart or boba. Like that was a big one too. I feel like I'm seeing matcha follow like that same trend line of like boba.
Which there's still a wild amount of boba shops, which is cool. Like that many people are having boba, but I don't know. Like with matcha, do you feel like it's gonna follow this? I mean, you said it's starting to follow that same trend line. Like, do you think it's here to stay?
I think so. Like we were kind of catching up offline before recording. Like in other markets, you see so many matcha shops, like right now especially, and now it's kind of trailed off, or boba has in terms of like the hype and the virality. But it's like just an option now in like the Rolodex of places you could go and get like a refreshing drink. And so I think matcha is becoming the same thing. Like tea houses are becoming more popular here alongside coffee houses. So I think it's just adding to the general like range of variety in terms of like specialty beverage shops in the U.S.
Yeah. I've had a number of friends talk about how they make their own matcha now and things like that. And there's a lot of people that are trending towards matcha. I still haven't converted to making my own matcha.
Yeah,
I know it takes a while.
Yeah. I feel like it's like the equipment. I feel like it's like the temperature of the water and having like the whisk and the sifter and like the time. I mean, we measure ours out by grams. So if you're getting a scale out, I mean, if you're dedicated, people definitely have their whole matcha set up. But I'm also like, you could just come to HQ and like get it on your commute. That's also fine versus investing in all of this equipment and taking time to like learn how to make it at home.
Yeah. Gosh, I was going to ask you about the tea ceremony where most of these things originate from, like you said. I don't know much about them. Is there, like, do you know the purpose of them originally, like how they originated and why there was a whole ceremony behind tea and matcha?
I want to do a little bit more research on that just to make sure I'm like the things that I know and have learned is like continuing to be accurate. Our shop manager, Matt McClay, he went to Japan earlier this year and went to Uji, where a lot of matcha is sourced and produced and grown, and was able to have an experience where he hand milled like your own matcha. I mean, it is more of a process. I would say that is like a big thing that has created it to be like a ceremonial experience versus just a green tea, is because it's so labor intensive. It was something that was reserved basically for like the emperors of Japan. Because if you stone mill matcha, like it takes at least like an hour to mill enough for like one serving. So it was like the highest quality, milled with like the most care, and then service. I mean, tea culture is already very significant in Asia, like India, China, Korea, Japan. And so for them to create this technique of, I mean, matcha means ground tea.
Okay.
And hojicha is roasted ground tea. So that's where it's like the same leaf and the same processing, but since it's roasted down, it basically takes all of the remainder of the plant, like the best part of the leaf is what's used for matcha, and then more of like the stems and the leaves that aren't the quality that makes sense for like a green tea matcha is roasted down. That's where it loses its caffeine content. It gives it that really like roasted, like nutty, like smoky flavor that we all now love as like a whole new thing. Or also the same thing, like you can get ohojicha, loose leaf tea, or like a kyusu sencha is what we have on our menu for like a similar leaf green tea, loose leaf steeped as well. So you can taste just like the difference of a steeped tea versus a ground tea. It's made with whisking because it like aerates the matcha and really blends it with the water. So we say it's like a shot, like almost similar to like a condensed shot of espresso. Basically, coffee grounds, like a pour over, is very different than a shot of espresso. Like matcha is kind of like that version now of like a super highly concentrated tea, then enjoyed as we see it now, like as a latte or with milk. But that is relatively obviously like new versus like it basically still milled and added water and then drank as is, and that is the tea itself.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I love learning about all that stuff. Yeah, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I have a couple like further like tabs bookmarked to like really. I mean, this has been a learning process for me too. Like I've enjoyed matcha and like know it basically as much as I've told you, and I've learned a lot working with our purveyors and have partnered with Rocky's Matcha and Mario, just because I had basically said to both of them, like if I were to create my own matcha company, or if we were to roast our own coffee, like we would want to do it exactly how you're doing it. And that kind of lends to the name HQ, like being a place for people to discover these things, not necessarily like us having to roast our own coffee. I think so many roasteries like across Asia just do it so well. We've had to pause a little bit just because of like tariffs and pricing, but hoping to bring it soon back where we have always like a rotating feature of a single origin coffee from a roaster in Asia. So we started it like our opening month. We featured Townsfolk, which is a small shop based in like Kanazawa, Japan. Again, it's like very niche, like not. It's like 45 minutes out from the next big city in Japan, but he is an amazing coffee roaster. And for people to be able to come to HQ and try that,
that's cool,
is really like the intention and where we're trying to grow into.
Nice. Yeah, I can't even imagine trying to juggle through and weave in and out of this whole changing tariffs, uncertainty. Yeah, I don't know how you do it.
It's not fun. It has not been a fun time. But I mean, again, like I said, the support immediately for HQ has been so strong. I was literally having this conversation with a friend last night. Like, I think year one for a lot of businesses is already hard, and then add those things into the mix, and also just like being in a developing area, having like a non-traditional space. There's been a lot of things we've learned or thought we wanted or could make happen from the get-go, and it's like, okay, just kidding, like we can't do that. Or yeah, now this price just skyrocketed. The price of matcha has gone up 4 times since we opened.
Really?
14 months ago.
Wow.
And yeah, like the shortage has definitely impacted our ability to source.
Well, not everyone wants matcha too, right?
Yeah, so pretty much all of like Rockies or whoever else we try to source matcha from or have looked into, it's like is having to max out how much we order. So that's been really interesting to navigate, like the demand of our shop here in Oklahoma City, like along with the global demand and shortage we're seeing and experiencing, but we still want that quality of matcha. But now, like we have just kind of eaten the costs on that, because I think our cost per drink is already like at a premium too, because we're offering like the best possible product. All of our syrups are made in house. A big thing that's like I really value in like food and bev and like service industry is making sure your people are paid well. So paying all of our team a living wage through that. I think when I reflect on this past year, there's so many things I wanted to have done like at this point or at year one that have just taken way longer than anticipated or just looked different. But when I really think about it, I'm like, okay, being able to sustain and retain our team this whole year, being able to like operate as, like I said, like a year 3 business. Like I feel like week 3 we hit my month 3 goals, which was insane.
That's awesome.
And so I guess all of that to say the issues or just hardships that small businesses run into in their first year like have felt severely lessened because of just like the overwhelming amount of community support. And again, now that is branching out into Tulsa and surrounding cities where people can make it a point to come and like choose HQ when they're like wanting to spend the money on a sweet treat in this economy, but also the people who live in the Asian district in our neighborhood who commute on Classen every day and can come enjoy a latte or just drip coffee and still not have to sacrifice quality, which was another big reason. Like, did not intend, and one day the drive-thru will not be the most prominent piece of the cafe, but again, a bonus. That's like the intention, because that was one of the pain points I felt being a coffee consumer in Oklahoma City, because I worked basically remote the past 5 years and have worked from coffee shops so much in the area. And I'm like, oh man, I'm in a hurry. I need to go to Edmond, or I have a meeting in Norman and I want a bite to eat. I needed to grab coffee. I would rather stop at like a local coffee shop, but then the only thing nearby is like a Starbucks. So I felt like I was always caught in that hardship of like, do I have to like choose between the quality I want and supporting local or the convenience of a mass like coffee chain. So I'm hoping too, like very soon we'll be able to streamline our drive-through process even more to help reduce wait times, and then finish building out more of our brick and mortar space so it can be utilized like year round, not right now like having solely the patio space where it's like very weather dependent in Oklahoma, which is its own challenge as well. So it's like, okay, we're getting there. And this year that we just wrapped up, I call like our proof of concept. Like now we've seen that there has been a need for this and that the community is enjoying like what we're able to serve and who we are. And I think it's really important to grow in public as well. And another thing we were kind of talking about before we got started is just like the perfection like holds you back so much. So I feel like if I had waited until we had all of things done first, like, okay, we're going to put in like the most perfect drive-through system and we're going to build this like huge beautiful space and have like, you know, like the most expensive signs you can get and like best parking situation, I don't think I would have ever opened. It was just like, okay, we need to open, and I knew that process was going to teach us what we needed to know of like how to grow and iterate, and then for the community to be a part of that growth. When I hope one day they'll be able to look back and be like, oh, I remember when you just had like the drive-through and the patio and like the walk-up window, and then look back as that was like a yes, you can start here, and we're just trying to maximize what we have, and that's already proving to be paying off for us to be able to expand and grow in the ways that really make sense for what people want, need, and who we want to continue to be and offer like in the Asian district, and specifically at 25th and Classen, being right by Grand House, Golden Phoenix, Super Cowin, like all of those anchor points surrounding us, and walkable to the east side of Classen as well. Classen Coffee is across the street on the left side and by the university, but so many people now walk their dog, like the new Saigon apartments. Our friends Nathan Scarlett developed last year as well. Like a lot of their tenants will walk their dog over to HQ, and I'm like, yes, every time I see it, it makes me so happy.
It's
or they're
happening.
like stopping at the park. I know you guys will stop and like enjoy your matcha at Military Park.
Yeah.
We just put like the boat project, like art installation there with Gabe and Denise. So there's so much growth that's happening simultaneously, and just being a part of the development of Asian District the past few years, I knew what was coming, and that being there at this point now is me just like shifting roles of like that same mission to like grow and develop the Asian District. It's like, okay, but this is what that can look like. Like we've set the infrastructure in place, and I know things are coming with the GO bond just getting approved at this last vote in October. Classen's going to be a part of that. So now we'll have a lot more funding for infrastructure improvements along Classen coming in like the next, say, 7 years, like as the geobond cycle. So hopefully within the next 7 years, we'll really start to see the impact of that. More sidewalks are coming along 25th Street.
That's going to help a lot.
So it's just unfortunately, things take time, especially city stuff. And it's cool to even see how much growth has been able to happen in just like the past maybe 3-4 years. But being on early, essentially. And that's another reason that has kept me in Oklahoma City, is being able to help lead like what that can look like in a way that feels authentic to our local community, but other people in the surrounding areas and some of our fellow business owners are like, okay, I can create an idea that feels a little bit more progressive for Oklahoma City, but we are in that territory now, having like the NBA championship here.
Wild.
And all these things, like the Olympics coming up in 2028.
Yeah, FIFA.
Yes, FIFA.
Yeah. We're like going to be a main thoroughfare, and we might be hosting teams. It's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, I just see so much opportunity here to grow and develop, and you really can be the first one to do something, because there's not as much diversity or variety as there is in like a New York or a big city.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. I think where we are in Oklahoma City is a very unique spot, and us as people that have that are into the community, and you more than I, that are into it and have been kind of propelling it forward. We have some unique opportunities and unique insight into where the city's headed and what it might need and what could potentially be beneficial for it. So I think that's really cool.
Exactly. Yeah. And I never thought I would say that. It's like I feel like I worked my whole life to move from Oklahoma City, and now I'm like complete opposite, like so connected to the city.
I try to talk people to move in here. I'm like, guys, like this is fun. It's a cool place. Cost of living's awesome. You got some unique things. You get to I feel like, again, talking about moving out, like you get to know people so much faster here. Ryan likes to say this is a 2-coffee city.
That's a good way to put it.
So if you wanna meet someone, you're just 2 coffees away from meeting them. It's crazy.
Yes.
And it's so true.
Yeah, we always say, like, you don't choose Oklahoma City chooses you. Like, so many people just ended up here. They moved here for college or something random work.
Yeah.
And then they just, like, ended up staying.
Yeah.
Because it is easy to integrate. I think sometimes it can be hard if you're outside of the urban core to figure out how to integrate. But then once you're kind of in, yes.
Yeah.
2 coffees away.
If you're in and willing.
And willing.
Yeah. If you want to do it, you can do it. That's kind of, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's another point, and something I've been thinking about this week is just like reflecting on like why I haven't moved out of Oklahoma City, or now having like my businesses here.
It's the year-end review.
It is. You're getting my like existential year in review live on the podcast today. I think I still like have this idea of like, oh, I wish I moved, or maybe I still will. And I travel to other cities, and you really see the difference of like, oh man, we really are so far from like being able to live in a carless society too. I think that's another thing where I'm like, man, I wish I could walk everywhere and all of these things, and people can really like hate on Oklahoma. But if you're not looking around you, like if you're not seeking out the good things that are happening in your community, you are going to dislike it.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of easy things you could dislike about your city, but I think just getting to know your local restaurant owners or business owners, like shopkeepers, like who are actually trying and care really hard to make it a place like maybe they can't move. And I think that was a big reason for me, was like looking at the next generation of kids who felt like I did growing up here. And I'm like, what if you can't or have the ability to move out of your hometown? Like, especially in, like, Oklahoma City's big enough to the point it's not like we're like a middle of nowhere, like population 100, tiny town with no resources.
Yeah.
Like, we're a big enough city that can support the growth of concepts like these. And I think it's so valuable for them to have access to it in person and not just on the internet. These in-person experience of, like, being able to see an ube matcha go viral online and then find a place relatively close to where you live to come and visit it. There were so many of those, like, pivotal events I saw, like, my friends go through here growing up here when I got to travel. And then it's like, oh man, you go and then you experience all these amazing things and you come back here and you're just like, I'm gonna have to save up money now and, like, maybe go once a year to experience all of these, like, awesome things that exist in the world. And I think, the internet, like we were talking about, just has shown how much is out there, and we have exposure to that more so than ever before versus, like, you're just blind, 15 years ago walking in to an international grocery store and you don't know what anything is or how these products are used in recipes or restaurants. But now we just have so much access, and I think that's so important, is just to continue creating those opportunities here and then show the next generation or people who are interested in, like, starting their own thing that they can do it and they can do it right here. They don't have to move to another city per se. I think there's, like, so much we can learn from other cities, but if you aren't willing to see what is right in front of you and maximize that, I think sometimes too, like, when you go to another city, you might be disappointed, or when your day-to-day feels the same. Like, it's so much about what you make in your local community that makes your life feel meaningful or have purpose.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, talk about trying to do things. I've been doing a few pop-ups here and there, and when I was telling my friends, they were like, "Oh, you need to go to Dallas to go do this, or you need to go here to do this." And I was like, "No, I'm gonna do this in Oklahoma. I'm gonna do this in this city." And I mean, I've only done 3 or 4, but the response has been awesome. The, like, people, and obviously the first one, it was friends and then friends of friends, and then the word kind of spread a little bit. But in some of the future ones, like, I didn't text everyone to be like, "Hey, I'm doing my first pop-up," because I was just like, I want to see. I obviously texted a few people being like, "Hey, I'm doing another one," but it wasn't as extensive as the first one was. But random people would just kind of show up and be like, "Oh yeah, I want to try this," and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." And so it's, if you want to do it, Oklahoma City can support it.
Yeah, or it's a good test market too. Like you said, like, starting small or here, being able to trial something.
Yeah.
Like, versus the investment that you would have to do in a bigger city too, like moving costs, cost of living, rent prices. Yeah. I mean, I think they've seen some concepts here that have been almost, like, too forward and don't make it, which is really unfortunate to see. But Oklahoma City is a very, like, community and people focused city. Like, people want to know the person who's behind the counter, and then they want to support the thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's, like, equal sides of, like, the person who's starting a concept and the consumer, just to figure out, like, what values align and what they want to see happen in their community. And it is, like, showing up and buying your coffee there or choosing that over a Starbucks. Like, it is insane how much that small choice makes a difference.
Oh yeah. You need, like, a few people to do that every day, and it makes a huge difference. Yeah. Okay, so as we start wrapping up, what's the future of HQ look like? I know you're already at year 3 now.
Yeah, she's a teenager now.
Is there, and I know there were some changes coming to HQ. Are we going to see a second HQ, an HQ 2.0? What insights can you give us? That aren't top secret. Or maybe that are.
Yeah, the insider scoop right now. I think biggest focus is infrastructure changes to our current space. I think that's like the forefront of my mind, and trying to take advantage of like January and being slow to make some improvements to our space, which I think will make it feel very different in a good way. Natsukashi opening in Tulsa, end of hopefully January 2026, if not long after. And HQ will have a presence on the coffee and matcha presence or menu there, because I'm leading that program alongside them and some of our other team members. So at least Tulsa will have access to some of our favorites like black sesame latte, black sesame hojicha, strawberry matcha. Those are going to be on that menu very soon.
Cool.
Which I didn't think some of our Tulsa friends are very excited about. And then, yeah, potentially an HQ 2.0 coming to Oklahoma City soon. We've had a lot of outreach, which is awesome. Like, that's another thing that's been crazy. Like, people send me different, like, vacant spaces, like,
No way.
every week.
That's
I feel
awesome.
like, you need to move here. You should come open a location in my neighborhood. And
That's awesome.
so, yeah, that is awesome. So, trying to see, like, what makes sense. I think I never wanted us to be, like, a local chain, per se. And that's another reason I named it HQ, because I'm like, I want this to be, like, a hub for the community and like so many things to take place. So I think that's also why wanting to make changes to our infrastructure to like host more pop-ups, like have a bigger dining area that like can support that, more retail, more pop-ups or events that can take place in our space. So we'll see. Yeah, we have a lot of opportunity and some conversations that have been happening.
Nice. I
like
love that.
very recently. So we'll see if what those manifest into come in 2026. But at least here in the near future, like keep coming to our Asian district like location, and then yes, Tulsa, we are not forgetting about you. I haven't like said it explicitly like anywhere, and I'm not trying to keep it a secret per se, but I think it's just like figuring out what the timeline realistically looked like for Natsukashi and at all, and then what exactly we wanted to do with the coffee and matcha program to make sure it complements the rest of like the modern Japanese like food menu that the team is creating. And then with that partnership, I'm hoping also some of the food items from Natsukashi end up in Oklahoma City. So there's
nice.
a little bit of crossover
Yeah.
between our two concepts, which we're trying to do in Oklahoma City and Tulsa, because there's like some amazing places in Tulsa now.
Yeah.
Like Oklahoma City has so many amazing places, and I feel like the two cities like tend to rival each other. Like
Yeah,
people choose
yeah.
one, and
Yeah,
I'm like, I love
there's-
both for so many reasons.
Yeah. There's this odd like Tulsa is better, Oklahoma City is better thing when you talk to the people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, no, at least if you go to either HQ if you're in Oklahoma City or Natsukashi if you're in Tulsa, you can have a shared experience of at least some coffee and food items.
Yeah. I know you did a few pop-ups at HQ, and I think I was there for the onigiri one. So no, that's cool. You're already kind of slowly feeding it in, which is cool.
Yeah, exactly. Like trying to like test, see like what their response is. But even for our 1 year anniversary weekend, the team came down, and it was like a moment for me of like, yes, this is it. Like people are coming through the drive-through and they're getting an onigiri, a miso soup, a black sesame latte,
Amazing.
a strawberry matcha. Like that is the lineup that hopefully becomes now like something that can happen on a day-to-day basis.
That's awesome. I love that. You can call your additional locations, when you get to the additional locations, satellites.
Exactly.
You still have your HQ, and then the other offices, just there's little satellites.
Yes. Yeah. This is a flagship, and then so yeah, maybe little HQ satellites coming in the near future. That is a secret or not so secret. Time will tell.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Anything else you want to mention before we wrap up? Where can people follow HQ and you and all the stuff that's happening? List off the places.
Yeah, follow us at HQ Coffee OKC, at El Tulsa, at natsukashi.tul for Tulsa, me at orange_Schultz. I have a lot of like my list of things there: Asian District, Luxury, HQ, et al. My personal freelance stuff. So I'm really excited to see just like where the food and beverage industry is going here. Again, there's so much opportunity. Like Natsukashi in particular, I will like talk about that and hype up the team because it's so good. like when you asked me, like, yeah, best bite of the week, I'm like, shameless plug. Like, I'm not even just saying this because I'm on the team there, but have been supporting what they've been doing for the past 4 years, and feel really grateful to like be a part of their team and have learned so much. And I can't wait for like the team to have like our own space for the first time and be able to then hopefully curate more pop-ups and continue the model of like what they intended it to be as a chef collective in Tulsa. And I don't see that modeled in the same way even in other cities. So I think it's going to be really like progressive, I guess is the best word I can think of where the future of food and beverage collaborations can go and what they can look like. And so we're trying to just kind of test and model that with HQ and Natsukashi. And I think people are going to be intrigued to find the level of food and like the experience that you're going to get coming to this restaurant that you can't even find in other cities. And so that's been really special, and I can't wait to see it now come to fruition. And we'll be open 6 days a week up there. So yeah, things are moving.
You might get a little more of your weekly drive.
Yeah, exactly. Might be like you, like a 2 time a week up in Tulsa.
No, that's awesome. I'm excited to check it out next time I'm in Tulsa after January. And yeah, I might be getting a HQ coffee later today, so we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
That sounds like a great decision.
Awesome. So go and follow on everything that you just mentioned. HQ et al. Natsukashi, her, because she's up to some cool stuff as well. And then while you're doing that, follow us at OKC Foodcast. And yeah, just a quick shout out to our sponsor again, Vault 405, for sponsoring the pod. If you're looking for a co-working space or just a place to work for the day, stop by Vault 405 here in downtown Edmond and get your work on. And actually, I just met someone cool in the lobby. So you meet some fun people that are kind of doing the same thing and have the same energy that you do. So it's a cool place to work. So check out Vault 405. And until next time, eat well and be happy.